I'm Teonna.
And I'm Trav.
And this is I Now Pronounce You,
where we reflect on our experiences and give our opinions.
It can be hard to take the time to process it all.
So we're making the time now.
We welcome you to
I Now Pronounce You. Hey.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Lord. People always say that January feels like the longest month when you start a new year. Do you feel like January's going by?
Yeah, it does. Oh, my God.
I feel like it's going by super fast. Like, we just had MLK Day yesterday.
It's super slow to me. It just goes by so slow.
I don't know. It feels like it's going by pretty quickly. But anyway, hey, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome back to another episode of I Now Pronounce You.
Welcome.
And by now, everybody, I hope that you are a TikTok star, a Clubhouse influencer. You made your goal of being an Instagram content creator.
Oh, yeah.
You're a full-time entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Are you trading stocks yet? You start that second business? You dating the right person?
How you getting money?
Are you couple goals? Are you a civil rights activist? Do you collect art yet? Are you accomplishing everything that you possibly can to live up to your dreams?
In the first month of January.
I'm sorry. I saw a meme like that, and I thought it was, like, hilarious.
Yeah.
But that person, I think it was Alana Nicole, she was basically just saying, like, there's so much, pressure to become all of these things. And take the pressure off, guys. Take the pressure off. Put a little fun in it and take the pressure off.
Enjoy yourself a little bit.
Yeah. We've been doing the podcast now for, like, 7 months, I think.
Yeah.
And I was just telling Trav the other day, like, we took a break in consistency and the numbers kind of shifted and changed. And he always tries to remind me, like, the point of this, T, is for what? Like, for us to connect and just have fun and do something together. And he's like, well, stay on that path. You know what I'm saying?
The numbers will always fluctuate.
Yeah.
That's how it's gonna go.
I just wanted to remind you guys that the scale's going to fluctuate. Your goal's going to fluctuate. The things that are happening in your life are going to, kind of change things up a bit for you. So don't be too hard on yourself. Hold yourself accountable, but at the same time, don't be too hard on yourself.
Please don't.
All right. Now that I got that out the way, since that was in my brain, I just want to say something about you that I told you yesterday, and it kind of got reinforced today. You don't ask follow-up questions for shit.
What you mean?
So yesterday, there was a little bit of tension between Trav and I was asking him about, like, his goals of January, how they were going. I was asking him about, like, some music stuff, all these different things, right? And he's answering me, and he's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, yeah, well, this is going like this, and, yeah, I feel da-da-da-da. And then the conversation abruptly stops. There's a silent moment. Wouldn't that be the opportunity for now the other person to, I don't know, ask about how the other person's goals and things are going?
Yeah, I mean, there could be an opportunity for that, but
There could be, or there was, Trav.
There was, yeah. There was. Like, see, y'all just caught that, like, brief 2 seconds of silence. That's how it goes. It's
I gave you longer than that.
Yeah. Like just now. Like, yeah, it's like, yeah. Like, just now. Like, I'm not a like, I've never been like that, and like, T's been needing that, and
okay, guys,
I can't get like that.
He tells me, like, oh, it's an off day, da-da-da-da. So he hooks up all the equipment. I get in the booth to do the podcast, and while he's doing, like, the sound and the mic and all, I don't know the type of things that he does, but whatever he does to make sure our audio is good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Trav, I got 2 cards today in my box at work, and it made me feel so good.
Never asked who it was from.
Nope. Not who it was from. Oh, what did it say?
How did it make you feel?
Nothing.
None of that shit, yeah.
You don't
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a robot. I literally might have like some sort of mechanical like gear in my like chest and in my mind. Like I'm a robot.
So
I'm sorry.
because this nigga didn't care, I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay, hopefully y'all care. All right. So I go to my box at work today.
If it's not a nigga, I'm cool.
I had 2 notes. You didn't even ask to see if that was the case.
That's what I'm saying. Like if it's a nigga out there and
No.
he sending messages to my wife, then
So
you
I
need to
had
holler at me.
2 notes. One of them was from a former student. She basically was saying thank you because I did a recommendation for her. Sweet girl, loved her. Eliza, so great. She's I think in 10th grade right now, and so she needed a recommendation for the honor society. So I wrote one, and you know her grandmother I think is a teacher, and her mom's a sweet lady, so they probably coerced her. But she wrote me a thank you note, just for supporting her. And then another one I got was like addressed to me and delivered to the school with a stamp on it, and it was from a former coworker. Now I taught next to him for 1 school year.
Yeah.
3 years ago. And he will send me random emails from time to time, and he sent me a card. And I was like, oh, that
If y'all
was so
haven't
nice.
noticed, and that T is the pretty teacher, and y'all know how it is with the pretty teachers. We gotta show them a little bit of love. We love the pretty teachers.
It was nice to know that somebody thought of me. Somebody that, not to say I don't think about them, because he was a dope person, a dope older guy. But yeah, I was like, oh, and it was from him and his cats.
If a dude live with cats, though, how solid is that? Congratulations.
Don't do that. We're gonna be talking about gender roles today, so don't
Okay, we about to get
start
into
pointing
that,
fingers
then,
and all of that. Okay.
Ahoy, hoy.
So this episode will largely be about tension and not the good kind, and it will be about some gender roles as well. So, like I was saying, yesterday was kind of tension filled. It kind of started off with me minding my business in the kitchen, okay? So I had some coffee earlier, and usually I'm like harping on Tamara to make sure the kitchen is clean, the dishes is done. But I was like, you know what? I was meal prepping. I'm going to sit here and do the dishes. I'm going to clean up, whatever. Trav was like, okay, I'm going to be in the living room because I'm tired. All right, Trav, cool. So I'm singing and I'm doing all this. So all I hear is the TV in the living room pause. And he goes, hey, is that the only line you know in that song?
Well,
And I'm like, no.
I knew that shit was gonna be delivered the wrong way, and I was trying my best to like deliver it in a manner that was like.
When you said that, I didn't take it wrong. I was like, I thought you was like trying to be funny or whatever. So I'm like, no, and you like, oh, can you stop singing that?
I didn't mean it.
Mood
Yeah, that's why like I'm
blown.
so bad at that shit, man. I'm so bad at that shit.
Here I am just singing. I don't even remember what I was singing. It was like SWV or something.
You never want to be that person that steals another person's joy, but you just like you really are just trying to like decompress from the day, and you just hear that shit over and over again. It's like, yeah, oh my God.
And I think you did follow it up with, I ain't mean to steal your joy or nothing. But can you stop? So there's this thing that happens, and I don't know, ladies, gentlemen, whoever is out there, I don't know if you too feel this way about your spouse or with your spouse, but when you don't want to start an argument, so you play the argument out in your head of like all the things you really want to say, and then what maybe the rebuttal might be, and then maybe what you might say after that. Is that just me?
No, that's not just you. I do the same thing. And it's like, I mean, and maybe that's why our marriage is successful, is because it's like, if I say some wild shit, that's why like I played that shit out in my head, and it did not go that way. It was just like, hey, baby, is that the only line you know of the record? Ha, ha, ha. Yeah, go ahead and, tone it down. I ain't say it like that, but I in my mind, I said it like that. And he was like, okay, baby, I'm going to sing another song or something, you know what I'm saying? And it just never vibed out
my
like that. It's
whole
just
vibe
her whole
shifted.
energy just fucked up, and I'm just like, damn, I fucked it up again.
So that's when I tried to go, after I cleaned up, I tried to go sit on the couch and like be like, all right, Teonna, it's whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. And that's when I tried to engage in that conversation that he didn't then reciprocate. So anyway, by the time we went to bed, like I knew I had to record today, and I hadn't quite finished writing out what I wanted to write about. So
Right.
I had a thought, and I grabbed my notebook, and I'm like writing like a half a page worth of stuff.
Yeah.
And what did you say, babe?
Why don't you refresh my memory, sweetheart?
You don't remember what you said last night?
I do not.
You like,
Is that
okay?
about the episode or yeah?
Yeah, you did say that. Or is that about the episode or?
Like what's good? Yeah.
Because I used to, like, when we were younger, probably like 18, 19, I would write just poems of like my feelings or just jot down a bunch of stuff just to get it out on paper. And so I think he thought I was reverting back to that. I wasn't, to a certain extent.
She was frustrated, and I don't know, man. I don't know if everybody else feel the same way, but sometimes it's just one of them days where it's just like everything just needs to stop for a moment. You know what I mean? Like, and you just need to reflect, and like any outside sources just sort of like it sort of disturbs that sense of peace that you want. Not saying that my wife isn't my peace, because she is my peace. But, just even her being jolly. And I mean, I did the same thing to my daughter. She was singing around the house and I just had to stop her. But I just wanted to just stop for a second and just try to, hone in on what it is that was kind of getting at me that day. And I could never get to it. And I'm glad that it didn't result in like a, hey, man, everybody out here, everybody wilding, man. Everybody need to calm down.
think-
It wasn't one of those days. It was just chill.
In a perfect world, you can articulate your thoughts and say that in the moment, right? In a perfect world. But when you're just kind of going through those emotions and those feelings and you don't really know how to come across or how to put that into words, I think that's where a lot of the tension can come from. Because it's like, I want to say this, but it might come off wrong, but I kind of don't know what's bothering me. And so that's why I think it's okay just to be like, look, I just don't really feel all right today. Like, I'm a little off. I need some quiet.
I thought that was my approach when I said, hey, babe, well, I probably could have saved the whole, is that the only verse of the song you know? That's some dickhead shit. Like, I could have probably been like, hey, babe, I know you're joyful and I know you're in a good mood, but, honey, my head is just bothering me. You mind if you, like sing to yourself a little bit? And she would have been like, okay, baby. And she would have been good. But instead, I had that like inch of dickhead in me, and it was just like, well, pause. I had the inch of like, that mind frame in me where it was just like, yo, like, that's the only verse of the song, man. Shut that shit the fuck up,
You didn't
know what I'm
say
saying?
that.
Like, but not. I didn't say it like that, but I guess that maybe that was how I was expressing it, and I didn't mean to express it like that. It was just like my wife in there, like, babe, girl, it's the only song Go ahead, young.
I didn't take it like that. I just took it as like, okay, this is how my mind worked.
Yeah.
So it went from, okay, I was feeling really good, and he just, this is maybe excessive, but like, I was feeling really good, and now he said that, and now I'm stopping. But if he was in his singing and I did that, he would have had a problem with that. And that's what brought me to this conversation of gender roles, because, like, do you think gender roles are necessary in a relationship?
They're not. I mean, it isn't. It's not a necessary thing. I will get in the kitchen and cook up a good meal. I only got about like 6 or 7 in my arsenal, but if I got to jump in and make a meal, everybody eat it. The same thing with, if it's a day where them trash cans need to come back from the top of the property and come back, you're willing to do that. So it's not a gender role. Gender roles aren't necessary. I think that it got to be a mutual respect there.
Do you think that we see eye to eye on gender roles?
Not all the time, no. Because I was heavily influenced by that 50s male approach, but I also, over years and years of seeing memes and years of us having conversations, I don't have like that 100 million to come out the pocket and just tell you to just go in the kitchen and cook. I can't carry you like
So
that.
if you
know what I'm
if
saying?
you had money, you would carry it like that?
Nah, I'm just
Trav,
saying.
what are you saying?
Like what now is the ideal mind frame of a man to just wake up and the wife taking care of the kids and she taking care of the household and she taking care of you, she feeding you, and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. Yeah, I would love to have that, but I also understand that the world has progressed past that and that I can't think in that mind frame anymore because that's also some Stepford wife shit. Like black folks ain't living like that.
Okay, so I was reading this article in Psychology Today, and it was called "How Do Gender Roles Impact Marriage?" And it was basically saying that there are two camps of thinkers. So either there are relationships that are like, look, we are going to share responsibilities on things. And then there's relationships that are like, no, we are going to fit in our designated roles. Like,
Word up.
I have air quotes right now, guys. Designated roles. So it doesn't mean that one couple or one marriage or one relationship or another, and this also goes for same-sex marriages as well, it didn't mean that they don't argue. It just means that what they argue about may be different. So if you're
Context means volumes, yeah.
if we are in the designated role type of traditional role type of relationship, if a problem arises and I know that my role is to fall back because you're going to handle it, then in that situation, I'm just going to fall back because that's what I signed on for. Now, some women may actually believe it and they're in those relationships, and some may just be keeping it to themselves.
But there could be, there's a lot of males that even though that they may not be able to hold their ranking 100% financially in a relationship, and it may be split 50-50. I think that alpha role is naturally something that just kind of jolts in you. So I speak for instance for myself, like, if there's a decision that we have to make, I always bring that to the forefront to you, and I let you kind of dissect it and kind of go over it. And sometimes if you're on the fence, if I just sort of replicate that alpha role, which I know that in my soul I am, I can kind of like not sway you to persuasion, but I can sort of be like, yo, babe, this is the move and I got this, young. You need to roll with me. And you're like, okay, baby. And it's not a passive role to me. To what it is that you as an individual, you've made an educated decision, that you've weighed all the options on left and right. And I think it's a relief off of your shoulders to know that your husband can confidently make this decision and that it can move forward.
There are a lot of things that you're knowledgeable about, so I don't feel like I have to be like right over your shoulder with it. But there are some times where you think an idea is good, and I would rather go along with what you say than to
there's plenty of instances like that.
Go along with what I say.
I'm right at 500. I'm not even.
No, listen. Like, I would rather do that than go along with what I say, and then it falls apart, and which you've never done this before, but then you point the finger at me. But I feel like if something doesn't go the way that you say,
let's get context to that.
No. I'm serious. Like, I'm just speaking in general. I'm not even thinking of any instance at all. You are?
No, I just want to bring context to that because I try, and if I don't think that I've ever sort of pointed the finger at you since we've started to live our life in a decent manner. Maybe in my youth and sort of my explosive nature.
When Travis says youth, I just feel like it's a drinking game.
Youth. The youth.
It's starting now to bother me.
No, I mean, in my younger years, I think that I had an explosive nature, but since we've thrived as a marriage, I don't think that I've done that.
So why did you say bring? Oh, that's your context?
Yeah, that was my context.
Oh, okay. So then I didn't get to talk about the other camp. So then the other camp is that shared responsibility. So if you're in a relationship where you have shared responsibilities, your argument may be the more masculine, person who likes to take that role might think, okay, you're not respecting me. And then the person who maybe takes on more of the feminine role might feel like I'm pulling my weight, but the other person isn't pulling their fair share.
Facts.
So either way, you're gonna have some difficulties there.
But the good thing about us is that we have a balance. I don't feel like that one has more of a masculine role than the other. I think that what it is that we collectively come together. I really think that we embody the factor of two people coming together to make a conscientious decision. And, even though I may have sort of like that nerve in the back of my head, this is like, oh, you're the alpha, bro. You're supposed to make that decision, bro. You don't even got to call your wife young. But, like, really, that's just ignorance. And you have to sit there and you have to sit and make a conscious decision with your wife about major decisions. And it took me a few years to get to that point, but I'm so glad that I got there because my wife has a higher education level than I do. And even
Doesn't
though
mean nothing.
Yeah. I mean, I got a PhD in the streets, cuz. Yeah. But ultimately, I mean, there may be things that she's more knowledgeable about than I'm not, and vice versa. I spent 8 years in corporate America, and in banking. So there's some things about finance that I can bring to her attention, and she's like, "Wow, okay, yeah, babe, you really know what you're talking about." So I just, it has to be a give and take, babe. We wouldn't be together if this wasn't a power couple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think arguing is healthy. I was reading some articles about that too. Like, even happy couples, are going to argue or going to fight or not see eye to eye. I feel like throughout the pandemic, from March all the way through till about like October, November, we were like golden. I don't even think we had tiffs. Like,
yeah, we didn't.
We were like disgustingly in each other's faces.
Yeah.
For months. And we're like, pandemic ruining relationships? What?
Nigga, we was in it. Nigga, we was in it.
But I think going back to work with the more heavier load of that, and like, I've mentioned before, like me physically going to my place of employment because I want to. The kids doing virtual learning and Trav not really being with it. I think like, I don't know, it threw some things off. And Trav made a really good point the other week. It still doesn't, like, I feel okay about it, but at the same time, I get it. And maybe some of you out there, you get where he's coming from. So if Tyson is not on his calls at the exact time that it needs to be, or he doesn't have his materials, or Trav isn't monitoring him in a way that I feel is, sufficient to check a kindergartner, then it may cause some tension. Or if he is struggling, I may walk past him and know, like, oh, he might need help with fitting his words in this box. Let me create lines on it. So Trav was like, well, see, like, that's been, like, your job for a decade. Like, you would know that. I don't know that. And I'm like, yeah. Oh, shit, he's right.
So I think about your background, and it's just a thought, I think about your background, and I think about what you do for a living, your sole purpose in that role, not your sole purpose as a human being, but your sole purpose is to create development and to move these young gentlemen forward, or young ladies, whatever, whoever's in that moment. For someone like me, my life depends on deals. So something as small as like a moth flying around my microphone to sound like I'm outside as opposed to in an office space, that can kill my deal. If I'm in the background and I'm like literally like having a conversation about, well, maybe if we move it this way and we tweak these numbers, I guarantee you that this is going to be how we close. And then you hear in the background, Daddy, my class ended. I mean, where the fuck you at, dog? Like, you not in no motherfucking office, dog.
Stop cursing.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all might be you might be trying to scam me. And most people think that I'm trying to scam them because they don't think I'm in the office.
Hold on, babe. I thought that was your response to Tyson.
Nah.
You mean
this
that
not-
would be the customers?
This is the customer talk. This is my client talking to me.
Got you.
And they like, yo, what's going on? And man, I'm not comfortable giving this Bama my routing and account number to my bank account. Like, yo, his son in the background wilding, bro. Like, I think about myself. Like, if I heard somebody's kid in the background wilding, dawg, I'm not about to give you my routing and account number. What you talking about, bro? Like, you're lunching.
As I'm on a Zoom call with kids, and in the background of them are their younger siblings and cousins and parents. So if my child makes a noise, I just look at them and I'm like, y'all, Tyson counting again. He in math. And we keep it moving.
It don't work like
Where
that.
It doesn't work. That makes sense, babe.
Yeah.
But I guess, to me, preparation would be key then. Like,
still tough.
Talking with him and being like, look, this is what you're about to do. These are your materials. Stay in your space. I will be checking on you in XYZ amount of time. Like,
I checked on my son all day today.
no, I understand that you checked on him, but I just feel like the approach is different. But once I realized, like you're saying, like, T, I don't have a degree in education. Like, I don't know that, or I don't have experience, with kids in that manner. Then I'm like, okay, I do get that. I get it. So that makes things a little bit better.
It's a little bit different.
Yeah. But I came across this quote from this lady named Dr. Sue Johnson, and she kind of studies relationships and really like the dynamics of them and what makes successful marriages, what she's noticed to be, weaknesses in them and all of that kind of thing. And she said, it's emotional disconnection that destroys relationships, not fighting. Happy couples fight. The difference is that happy couples fight and find a way to turn back and connect again. And so, even though those times where, like, we have these tension-filled moments and I don't like them, because to me, it makes me feel alone. Like, if you're not vibing with your person...
Yeah, it makes you feel like you're by yourself.
It makes you feel like you're by yourself. And so even though we're not having drug-out fights or we're not, like, going back and forth and, oh, your mama, like, we're not doing any of that, just feeling like I don't even...
Like, hey, okay.
Yeah,
right,
just feeling
Go to your corner, I go to my corner.
Yes. Feeling like that, like, I just don't like feeling like that. And so I always feel like that is that emotional disconnection. But we do both try to mend that. And so I'm glad that she pointed that out in the quote, that it's okay if you have those types of things, but as long as you're on the mend, as long as you're both willing to reconnect,
you're able to bring that back.
Then you're good. Then you're golden.
Yeah, I agree.
So I have 2 segments today. One will be Come Again.
Come again.
Come again.
Come again.
Come again.
Come again.
And I don't have a quote for Come Again. I just have a situation that has been flooding the internet that I just want your thoughts on.
Floaty.
And I'm going to say 2 names, and then I want your thoughts. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan.
That's a heavy topic to just drop on a brother.
You see a problem with it, or what's your thoughts?
Oh my God! Like Lori
All right, let's
Harvey
go, Scott. Let's go.
Lori Harvey been in the mix. She been out here just in the mix, and
Okay.
I feel like my brother Michael B could have pulled Cassie or something, Like, I don't know.
What?
Yeah.
One, Cassie's married, expecting her second child. But what?
No, I'm just giving an example of the caliber of quality.
Do tell.
Like, people in the industry tend to take Lori Harvey as a jump off.
Huh.
Yeah, she tends to be a jump off.
I'm letting him get it all out, guys.
I do not know about her sexual history. I do not know who she's been sexually active with. I do not know that. But I do know that Lori Harvey has jumped brothers from brother to brother to brother. And if you mess with Diddy, then you off the Richter, off the break. If you mess with Diddy, then you bottom of the barrel. You bottom of the barrel if you mess with Diddy.
Why?
Because Diddy got some unspoken things that everybody in the industry knows what's going on.
We're not talking about Diddy right now.
I'm just saying, like, if you mess with Diddy, then, like, that's some sort of childhood psychological stuff that he's like, I always wanted daddy.
Do you feel like a young woman, because she's just turned 24, so do you feel like a young woman should not be with someone twice her age? You have a problem with that, or you have a problem that it was Diddy?
I just got a problem with the fact that it's Lori Harvey.
Please explain.
She seems like a jump off.
But what makes her seem like a jump off?
Because she jumped from celebrity to celebrity to celebrity, and her life was in the forefront. And it's the same way that I feel about Kim Kardashian. She's a junior Kim Kardashian in training.
How?
She's Kim K in training.
How?
She been with multiple celebrity people. She's in the mix. She's Lori Harvey. She could have easily flown underneath the radar. She don't have no show. She ain't funny. She ain't singing. She ain't rapping. She ain't doing none of that.
Oh,
she could have easily flown underneath the radar.
So the way she carries herself in her private life is what makes you feel like
she's hungry for this celebrity, and it makes her a shark.
Okay.
She went from one celebrity to the next one. She could have easily messed with one celebrity and then went back. She could have easily... Her daddy is Steve Harvey, man. Her stepdaddy is Steve Harvey. So she could have easily went off on a tangent and met somebody that was about these millions.
Okay.
If that was her MO.
So this is what I've noticed. Now I'm going to give my thoughts. This is what I've noticed about Steve Harvey and his children and stepchildren, mainly his stepchildren. They all typically early on found a husband or a wife, married in their early 20s, and, pushed forward in that way. Lori was doing the same thing. I think by 20, she was engaged to, I don't know what sport he played. I don't know if it was hockey or golf. I don't know. Some athlete. Might have been baseball. I really don't know. But she was engaged to him, and then the engagement was broken off. And after that broken engagement, I think it was by her, not by him. After the broken engagement, then you saw her with people like Diddy, with people like Future, with people, just out in the
Future
open
is Thottimus Prime.
I understand that. But so then you saw her out there, and I mean, I'm not counting people, but I feel like the issue that you and some people have is that, oh, you're not being modest, which then rubs some women the wrong way. Like, oh, we got to be modest? Y'all not modest. So why do we have to be modest? Why can't we walk in?
And that's the double standard that I don't know about all gentlemen, but myself, I'm a modest brother.
Michael B. Jordan seems like he got no issues.
Michael B. Jordan seems like a modest brother to me.
He does seem modest to me. I don't even know who he's ever seen before. Like, I don't feel like he's never been photographed with women.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't feel like he's ever put out who he's dating. I think he's always been very
So for him to
low-key.
take the Lori Harvey route, bro, like, that's tough on him as well. Like, come on, bro. You don't put your personal life out there in the open like that.
Well, maybe she's the type of person that's like, look, you gonna claim me. Maybe she's that type of person.
Yeah, she can be left where she at.
I think I don't really have a lot of thoughts necessarily because, I'm not too judgy. I don't really have a lot of thoughts on her and what she's doing per se. I'm looking at it as far as how people consume the situation. So I think it brings this big debate upon, like, do you have to keep things under wraps in order to be considered a lady, in order to be considered valuable, No.
Hold on, babe. I'm progressive, yeah.
Or it brings on this discussion of, well, women can't, they can't roll like how a nigga would roll, and all these different things start to come out. But I really like this meme that I saw that said, do y'all want Sierra's prayer, like what Sierra did to get Russell Wilson, or do you want Lori Harvey's finesse?
I think that ultimately, we have to destroy that detriment altogether. I think that there should be sort of like, especially in our community, we have to be able to just destroy that shit altogether. Like, why is that shit hot? Why is that hot? You know what I mean? Like, why is it hot for like Lori Harvey be talking to Diddy one week and then talking to Future one week and talking to whatever? But then also, why is it hot for Future to have 6 baby mothers? That's the same thing. I don't think
I
none
think
of that's
that's
hot.
where that energy is coming from of people saying, don't come for her because of this. Not saying that it's necessarily right or wrong, but it's like it can be definitely be a double
We
standard.
hold Michael B. Jordan to a high standard in our community because, you know, he was on that shit with Chadwick Boseman.
But if I saw a different woman on Michael B. Jordan's arm every year or every 6 months or every 3 months, I probably wouldn't have thought twice, to be quite honest.
Facts.
So I think that's what people are saying about her situation. It's just who she chooses to be with. It is what it is. But the last thing I want to say about that is I liked how they put her face on Steve Harvey's book cover of Think Like a Man.
Think Like a Man, yeah.
They was like, she read the book. Y'all just need to go read the book.
Yeah, she pulled what the women would consider one of the highest eligible bachelors in the game right now, which was Michael B. You know what I'm saying? And niggas fuck with Michael B. Like, yo, he was Creed. He was fucking Rocky. He was, you know, he was out here. You know what I'm saying? So
He was Rocky, babe.
Not Rocky. He was in Creed.
Yeah.
Creed is just an extension of Rocky, but you understand my perspective.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He was Killmonger. You know what I mean?
So our last segment is Smart Tea. And that is when I go through my January goals and update on how I'm doing with them. Okay, so let's see. From last time that I touched base, I said that I had a 50% day and a 0% day, and that I wasn't feeling like so great about that. So this past week, I've had 2 50% days, 2 0% days, and today is a 50% day. So it's actually accumulated a little bit more, and I think I've been avoiding it a little bit more. But I think that I am happy with at least seeing the 50% days. So my goals were 32 ounces of water minimum per day, writing twice a week for at least 5 minutes, and 20 minutes of exercise 3 times a week, on the other days doing 5 minutes. So I've probably been getting in, like, one day I'll do like an hour workout, and then one day I'll do like 10 minutes, or one day I won't, do anything at all. And I think that is affecting my data as well. So when I go to write my goals for February, I'm going to be more intentional. I think I'm going to do the minutes per week versus minutes in a certain day. So that way I'm not like, oh, I'm over 3 times over on this day, but then I'm 0 on this day. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I think that I'm working on an ebook. And so I feel like the 5 minutes of writing, where there's days that I'm writing out the podcast, but I'm not counting that as my 5 minutes of writing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that counts, man.
So I want to look at it that way. So it's still going. I'm still working towards them. I just need to re-strategize. And so I wanted to make this month about habit change. And that's why I'm looking at it as a month-by-month case. Because, guys, if you are coming up with resolutions and goals that are going to consume the whole year, like, I want to do this, I want to do that, but you're not making them SMART goals, you're not saying what you're going to effectively do to make that change.
How do you brand flourishing?
Yes. So, I really, really recommend you guys doing monthly goals, and that way you can kind of stretch out that goal into actionable items that you can accomplish throughout the month. And then the next month, if you feel like, I don't need to add a water goal this month because I'm fine with my water goal, let me focus on something different, or let me carry over that same thing because I didn't quite get it for the month before, then I think that's good.
That's true, baby.
All right, so any final thoughts, babe? What's your takeaway?
My takeaway is just going to be, don't let Lori Harvey catch you slipping, cuz. Don't you let her catch you slipping, cuz. She out here. She's for the streets, bro. She's for the streets. And if you Michael B and you winning, don't let the junk catch you for the streets, bro.
Anyway, my final thoughts are... Yeah, you had to laugh at yourself. My final thoughts are that tension and disagreements within a relationship, they definitely can come to a resolve if you are just willing to take a few notches back. Trav and I talked about how we have arguments in our head and we kind of play them out before we even get into all of that. And it really helps with limiting, one, how you're talking to your partner, and two, like, you can kind of see how it plays out and then see if that's even worth it.
Yeah.
Is getting what you had to say off your chest right quick, was it worth it? Or
Exactly.
if you already know the answer, then just like, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
I felt like you stole my joy when you told me to stop singing, but is that what you really meant?
It's
no.
Not
and
at
I
all.
knew that deep down inside, so I was like, Teonna, don't even be petty. That's not what he...
And I tried to vocalize that, but it just, sometimes I think as men, we have to realize that even if we say as a disclaimer, yo, I'm not trying to steal your joy, or I'm not trying to, knock off your vibe or kill your vibe. I mean, you are, bro. Like, you just can't say that shit. Like, if your girl is singing, and I wish I never met her at all, like, let her sing that shit. It makes her happy.
Was what I was singing? No.
No, I'm just saying, like,
I know, I got you though.
You know when Jay says singing all off key.
I'm just,
you just gotta,
Trav, was that a dig?
No, I was just trying to give it like a.
Look, we about to get up on out of here. He just gonna stop singing,
Jesus.
Okay? Last week you called me Jada. This week you give me a line from Jay about singing off key.
It's a song. Like,
I know. I'm a Jay fan. I know the song.
I didn't mean it that way, sweetheart. I'm sorry, baby. I'm not trying to be confrontational.
All right, everybody. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I Now Pronounce You Pod. You also can email us at inowpronounceyoupod@gmail.com with any suggestions, topics. You can ask a question or give us a scenario. We would love to see those there. You can find us wherever you listen today. Also on Amazon Music, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and many more. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, guys. Be safe.
I almost said your line.
Oh, you can say it, baby. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I almost said your line.
Go ahead.
All right, guys. Be safe.
Oh, you ain't say it. Hype.